I'm Judy Murray. I'm talking to you from Wimbledon. Where else? I hope you're having a lovely lunch at the Savoy today. And I'm really thrilled to be asked to speak about the two winners of the Great London Scot Awards for Outstanding Young Talent. One of them I think is not quite as young as he maybe used to be, because he's 30, and he's my son Jamie. He's had an outstanding year, I think just at the end of last year, winning the Davis Cup for Great Britain alongside his brother, and the rest of the team was a kick-start for him, winning his first Grand Slam at the Australian Open in January, and then of course winning his second Grand Slam at the US Open in September. And in between those two successes, he became world #1 in doubles, which is the first time that a British player had ever become #1 in tennis at anything. And then he got his OBE, so it's been an amazing year for Jamie, and very, very proud of him, not just because he's a great tennis player, of course, but because he's actually a fabulous young man. And Gordon, I've known for many, many years, since he first started playing wheelchair tennis. He had an enormous amount of talent, a wonderful left-handed, single-handed backhand that any of the top players would actually die for. And I remember him as a very stroppy teenager. He used to get very angry with himself and very, very frustrated. And I think as he's matured, he's been able to sort of overcome that, which often led to sort of losses of concentration during matches. And now that he's all grown up and absolutely gorgeous, he's making the absolute max of his talents, winning at Wimbledon this year and then capping it with gold at the Paralympics. So absolutely wonderful achievement from two outstanding young Scots.
Catherine Granger is one of the best rowers that Britain has ever produced. She is one of the very few British athletes to win 5 medals at 5 consecutive games. And she is one of our most decorated Olympians. So Catherine, I'm sorry I can't be with you to see you receive this award. Of course, it's very richly deserved. You and I shared a couple of Olympic teams all way back in the mist of time when you started your Olympic career. It is wonderful to see you receive the accolades that you so richly deserve. It is brilliant to see your career hopefully come to an end now with 4 silvers and 1 Olympic gold medal, all of them in successive Olympics. It is an amazing achievement. Congratulations again.
No, I was thinking today, I feel very, very lucky. I fell in love with the sport at university.
I first got to know Sir Ian when he was asked by the UK government to carry out a review of how best to maximise recovery of oil and gas from the North Sea. He was absolutely the right man for the job. No one has more authority on the North Sea than he does, having turned the Wood Group into a global powerhouse in the supply of services to the oil and gas industry. And it was typical of Ian that he wasn't just happy to make recommendations. He wanted to make sure that they were implemented and implemented quickly. And they were. And today the Oil and Gas Authority that he proposed is up and running and already making a difference. It is a mark of the respect in which Ian is held that he is one of the few businessmen to have attended a meeting of the full British Cabinet when it met in Aberdeen a few years ago. And I'm grateful for the role that he has played more widely. He was instrumental in bringing together the private sector to make happen a UK city deal for Aberdeen, which is again going to make such a difference to that area. And he has also played similar roles for the Scottish Government, looking at how to develop the young workforce of Scotland. And he's also one of Scotland's most generous philanthropists. So I can think of no one who is deserving of this award more than Sir Ian. And all I can say is I only hope that when I'm his age, I have the same energy and vitality that he shows today.